guys, it's Reagan Keeley here. In this video, I just want to talk about something that is sincerely critical to me, and I think it's worth being noticed. It's the upcoming forms of the human psyche expressing its inner turmoil in the outer world, and how we can be proactive about the gargantuan havoc that it's wreaking. I know I have been swamped with people I know, people I don't know, exhibiting some wild neuroses and even high-functioning psychoses, just so much fear and anxiety and rage, grief, deep-seated pain, memories, and thoughts that are just so repressed, and it's causing people's psyches to react in some very interesting ways, to say the least. And this is not anything new, but there are new things beginning to come out of it. And I think that we should be aware of these things for our own health and safety, really. Because people, all of us, we are just in dire need of some internal healing and understanding. And in this video, I'm talking more about the negativity, because as human consciousness is expanding, whether it be from the technology or the higher standard of living, the constant data intake, or whatever variable you might want to consider, we seem to be becoming more self-conscious, more self-aware, despite the lack of internal wisdom, and noticing these deeper parts of our psyche is beginning to affect us in new and very extreme ways. And the concept of human consciousness expanding is of course extremely exciting, and it opens up a whole new realm of ideological spheres and abilities that are just beyond rational belief. It's so empowering, it's really truly beautiful. And I know I've had some unbelievable experiences myself with the subconscious. And between psychology and individual experience and even quantum physics, we are beginning to see that the mind is very powerful, very, very, very powerful, especially the subconscious. Yet people don't want to heed any attention to this in the direction that it's taking them. And Jung, one of my favorite psychologists, often talked about the process of individuation, which is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind being in harmony. And I feel like we are in critical need of this union now and now in the present more than ever before. Because while the advancing of the psyche is extremely remarkable, it is double-edged, and people's inner turmoil wreaks havoc on this world. And I'm talking about people with these repressed memories and emotions and thoughts that they just they're not processing, whether it's unintentional or they just refuse to process it, because it is, of course, the hardest thing that they're going to have to do. I don't think there's any external obstacle that is nearly as hard as facing your own psychological demons. And people are going to see these demons start to manifest in the world in ways that they don't even consciously realize, and they are going to have to deal with, and we are going to have to deal with as well. And an example would be all of these riots breaking out and all the racism and neo-Nazis because of Trump's presidency. It's not that more racists have popped out of the womb since Trump's presidency. It's just this psychological energy that has been in motion for many years. So my point is, if you haven't already, I invite you to start discovering yourself, start working on yourself, start healing yourself, because those deep-seated knots in the root of your psyche, whether it's from childhood traumas or any traumatic experience, repressed emotional baggage you carry around with you, negative thinking patterns, bad habits, etc., things we all do, we all have them. Heal those subconscious knots in your reality, because it's very naive to think that they're not affecting you, no matter how small. They're affecting your personality and who you are, your relationships with yourself and with other people around you. They're affecting your whole reality in the way that they are affecting how you perceive the world around you. And in the end, ultimately, they're affecting the direction of your fate. And I think the most noble thing you can do, truly, is to better yourself and start working on these things, because it really does start on the individual level, and you will lead by example on a subconscious level more than you could ever try to persuade people consciously. And I also want to invite you to remember this when you're dealing with other people especially the most difficult people, because I'm sure we all have dealt with some nasty people with those crazy repressed demons. And when it comes down to it, you really can kind of see the reasons for their fear and their misery, and hence why they act in such hateful and seemingly irrational ways. And it's very, very contagious. So we need to be mindful of how we preserve ourselves, not feeding into people's demons, and navigating this issue with intelligence and grace. Because with people cheating and rioting and hurting and stealing and killing, people just losing their minds, just going off the deep end, giving into these demons, these bad thoughts. You know what I mean. It's important to understand the psychology behind it so that we can respond to these upcoming issues proactively with intelligence and compassion and awareness, rather than just reactively, ignorantly, with anger and being counterproductive to what we're actually trying to achieve in the long run. Because it's already bad, and genuinely, I think we're only seeing little baby things of what's yet to come, of people's inner demons and turmoils coming out and expressing in the external world in the upcoming era that we're entering. Because some people are living in some very, 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 very dark perceptions of this world. They have lots of fear and anger in their hearts. And it's true that we have the power to recreate, to program how we perceive our reality. And it's not easy at all, and it's not instant by any means, but it is most worthwhile. And it's truly a beautiful thing for those people who do try to make that commitment, because it's not easy. It's the hardest thing you're ever going to do, to heal yourself and to grow into directions beyond belief. They're going to see many beautiful fruits of their labor. And the first step truly is self-preservation, and to take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and be mindful of how you're spending your energy. Because again, there's a lot of work for all of us to do. And lastly, again, I just feel compelled to reiterate this advice for now and for upcoming years, that when you see people starting to go crazy, and I mean crazy, just doing wild shit, just mentally deranged, don't feed into their insanity by exhibiting it yourself reactively, because again, it is very contagious. And I don't think anybody said it better than Nietzsche said it when he said, when we're fighting monsters, we have to be careful not to ourselves become monsters. For when you stare into the abyss does stare back at you. Thank you.